Hey everybody, welcome back to F&A Van Life. Today we have Drifter Journey with us. This is Jess and Greg, and they're gonna show us their build.
We are Drifter Journey on Instagram and YouTube. You guys can find us there and follow our journey. We are in a 2017 Ram ProMaster. We've been in there for just over 2 years now. We quit our jobs and we've been in it full-time, traveling the country.
Where's your favorite place that you've been so far? That's a tough one, I know.
That's a really hard question.
Probably New Zealand, but the van wasn't there.
I don't know. I'd say Canada.
Canada's pretty awesome, and Baja's amazing. So maybe Alaska next year. We'll find out.
Can't decide.
What's this piece of equipment you guys got here?
This is a 2018 TW200. That's our dual sport adventure bike. It's the motorcycle that lets us go places the van can't go.
What kind of gas mileage does your van get?
I thought you were gonna ask about the bike.
Well, both. I mean, obviously the bike gets way better.
The bike gets over 70 miles per gallon.
Wow.
I'd say on average, overall, the van gets about 15.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
Right.
I mean, especially for gas too. I mean, we have a diesel and we get 21.
So we use the TW as like our low cost, high mileage grocery getter, get around towner.
Take us to hot springs.
Yeah,
Nice.
hot springer, dirt road, get after kind of thing. So it's really fun to have. We're glad we have it with us. And we have an affiliate link for the MotoTote rack as well for those of you who also want to carry a bike around on the back of your vehicle. They'll link it in the bottom of the description there.
I can't tell you how many times though we're sitting inside with the fan open and we hear people talking about the bike.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I bet.
Even this morning we woke up and we hear someone's like, that's the perfect bike you need. So the MotoTote rack, this guy down here, we have the additional LED light kit on it. What I find to be the sturdiest motorcycle rack. So we wanted one that was gonna hold our wide tire. So we got a super wide tire in the back. This is the MTX Sport model. So I think it's been a while, but I think it holds an 8.5-inch wide tire. So that's the reason I went with this model specifically. They have one with a little narrower tire fitting too. It's a little bit cheaper, pretty lightweight. It works amazing. We've beat the crap out of it and it's been on here for over 2 years and it's still holding up. So I can't complain. It's been great.
Do you feel any like bounce or sway or like anything from the vehicle?
So I can tell when the motorcycle's on versus off.
Yeah.
You can feel the weight of the bike back here, and
For
this
sure.
bike's actually pretty light. It's like 280 pounds, so it does ride differently. The brakes takes a little longer to slow down. So yes, I can tell, but it's not worth leaving the bike behind.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to show us how it swings?
Yeah, it's a separate product we have on here called the rack attach. So it's this black piece in here, and so what that does. And then I can swing the bike out.
Nice.
Access the back.
One of our main reasons for moving into the van was really just to get us outside more and doing the things that we love, which is like hiking, mountain biking, climbing, fishing, basically exploring the outdoors. So we knew that the garage was going to be a pretty critical feature for us. Specifically for our mountain bikes, we wanted them inside the van just because they're expensive and we wanted them for security reasons to be under the bed. Being organized and having everything accessible was really important. Otherwise, we knew that if it was just like a big pile of gear, we would never want to deal with the inconvenience of having to dig in that pile to find everything. The bed actually moves up and down.
Ooh, right on cue.
The convenience of that is that when we don't have the bikes in here, which we do take them out when we're stationary for long periods of time, we can actually lower the bed all the way down to here, which gives us about 10 more inches of headroom up top, which for me isn't as big of a deal, but Greg's 6'2" and he can't sit up in bed when it's high enough for the bikes to fit in, so it is actually a pretty cool feature for us.
I do really love these like cubbies that you guys have in here.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah. Just having everything sort of like tucked in there, not falling around everywhere.
On the left you can see our bikes and they're on trays. So they're completely custom sized to fit our bikes on this side and these bins on this side.
Did you make them yourselves or did you buy them?
They're homemade. Yep.
Cool.
So
Nice.
you can buy these rails. They're heavy duty slide rails on Amazon, but everything else is kind of homemade just with wood and bits and pieces. So our bikes fit in on this side, they just slide in and out. It makes it really easy for us to access them when we want to hit the trail. And then this side we had made specifically for these bins. We shopped around for a long time to find the right bin for our stuff. They're weatherproof, so they're sealed. They're stackable. They actually latch closed, so they're pretty durable, and they're pretty affordable as well. So at any point in time we can carry 8 bins without all this other crap up here on this slider. And then if the bikes weren't in, we could put another 4 on that side if we really wanted to. They're labeled because we're kind of,
hey man, you got a bunch of black bins, you can't see it.
so we try to keep track of what's in there, and the ones that we use the most are up front. That's kind of how we keep track of all of our gear, because we're in and out of here a lot.
Great.
We actually do access the tool bin, which is the back bottom one, quite a bit. It's easier to get to from the front. So all we have to do is open these straps up and loosen them, and I can get into there from the front, which that's where we keep our jumper cables. And for whatever reason, everybody asks us for a jump. I think people are like, oh, a van, those guys have everything.
Yeah, right?
So,
and you do.
Yeah, and we do, and we end up jumping a lot of people, so
And it sounds really bad, and we're, like, people ask and we're like,
we'll be like, do you have your own cables by chance? Like,
We don't want to break ours out.
I really don't want to get them out, but I will because I feel bad because I want to help you.
Yeah, correct.
And I really don't have anywhere to be.
But yeah, so that's the garage. As you can see, we've got a ton of other stuff. This is our portable shower unit. So we don't have a bathroom in our van, which means that we don't have a shower, but this can be taken out and set up external outside of the van, and we just shower outside. We have a little pop-up tent here, the old Hala Yella change room that you can shower in, and then our bucket. That's our toilet for emergencies.
Handy dandy bucket.
Mexico is a perfect example. Baja has a lot of public beaches, but no bathrooms. It's not like you can just like go in the sand next to your rig when there's 30 other people around. So we just set that up in the pop-up tent, and then you're good to go.
Okay, now we're gonna take you inside. How'd I do?
Great. Very peppy.
Alright, tell me about this bed.
This is the bed. We actually sleep front to back because I'm about 6'2" and I wanted to be able to lay fully in the bed. Everybody else goes side to side, and it's not wide enough, so I don't fit. It's on the motors, so it's 4 250-pound pneumatic lifts, and we're able to cheat it a little bit if we end up on a hill. So let's say we have a slight angle, I can just drop just the front down a little bit. It's in between a queen and a king size bed, so it's quite large for a van.
Who wants to do what?
Want me to tour the kitchen, honey?
Yeah, you're good at the kitchen because I don't use it.
Oh, yeah.
She'll show you the kitchen.
All right, so welcome to our tiny kitchen. It's very utilitarian, very basic, but we love it. It's all that we need. So we have a Dometic 2-burner sink combo cooktop. So it's got this cute little sink, 2 burners that are propane run, and our propane is underneath our countertop here. And so we can only cook 2 things at a time, but that's more than enough because I hate cooking, so it works for us. This is our fridge. So we've got a 65-liter truck fridge. Holds about 3 to 5 days worth of fresh food for us. We do wish that we had a little bit bigger fridge, but this is kind of what fit for the orientation that we have here. And then we have kind of our pantry cabinet here. Just a couple drawers with our silverware and plates and whatnot, and then our pantry, food goods. I'm not normally this organized, but we had a run-in with mice earlier this year, so we started using the old container store solution. We had to keep those mice at bay, so that's that. And then our upper storage here, we've just got our pots and pans, storage containers, everybody needs some oatmeal, extra provisions. And then this is kind of our bathroom, hygiene, first aid kit, everything like that. Not super organized, but we don't have a ton of stuff, so it's pretty easy to keep track of. Other than that, we've got our little dining area. This is our swivel table, and it just kind of locks in place with a screw here, and then there's one underneath here as well.
Yeah, so this is how we sit for dinner mode. I usually sit back here because she can access the kitchen, and then she feeds me and actually comes and sits down, so it kind of works out quite well. And then if we're working on our computers, it's here, or one person over here and one person here, and just however it works.
When it's not in use, we just set it there and screw it so that it's stationary while we're driving, but then we can kind of move it around. It actually swivels all the way around to the outside of the van as well. If someone wants to stand outside and work or what have you, it's pretty versatile.
Nice.
Like I can pull up like beachfront parking spot, you know, and just like work and look outside and not get any work done because I'm looking outside.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
her view right now is just me and a bunch of parked cars, so it's not as good as the beachfront.
The table was literally the last thing that we built in this van because none of us could like figure out how to make it work. Like we didn't want the hole in the floor with the RV table and whatever. And the Westie guy was like, why don't you just make a Westie table? And I guess this is how they work, is it's just on a swivel.
That's
so
cool.
Literally just a bent pipe. There's a bearing down in the bottom and 2 little clamps.
Yeah.
So
swivels around on it.
It works great.
Yeah. Extra storage in our bench seats here. Tons of gear storage for that. A lot of stuff that we access every day versus the stuff that's in the garage, which we don't necessarily get into every day. So we have 2 windows, one on the driver's side. These are operable. So both of these open, which is really nice for airflow. And then we also have one on the passenger side in the slider door. One of those is operable, the other one is not. So half of it works, which is great. It's really good to be able to just bring some cool air in on some of these hot nights or vice versa. For that, we also have 2 fans. So if you're ever building a van, I'd recommend doing 2 fans. One in the front over the kitchen area and then one in the back. The back actually stays really hot. And if you can't pull air in through back there, then it's really hard to cool it down in the back. So
I gotta be honest with you though, I'm more interested in those.
The fan covers?
The fan covers, because the way that it just pulled down super easy and stuff.
These are homemade. We actually have a video that talks about them. We made window covers for the side windows as well as for the fan covers. And it's actually a really cheap hack. So we bought Harbor Freight moving blankets. We cut them down to size. We bought some magnets and put them underneath this mounting plate here. So there's magnets in here and then there's magnets in here as well that match up. So all you do is put them up and it holds itself up there. And this one's starting to stretch out a little bit. It used to be more smooth and flush, but hey, I spent like 40 cents on it. So.
We'll make sure to put the link of that video as well in the description so you guys can check that out.
The other cool thing about the ProMaster that I forgot to mention is this overhead storage. So we've got a ton of overhead storage up here. This is actually where we keep our laundry bag. These are our other window covers. I can show you how this one works.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful too.
It's just literally a Harbor Freight moving blanket that I sewed magnets into. And you gotta clean them up a little bit because the moving blankets they're not real nice. Like you gotta hem the edges and whatever.
So when we went to pick it up, there was clothes hanging from it. Because I was like, what is this stupid thing for? And if I ever have an interview again, and I need like nice clothes that aren't wrinkled, I'll definitely
get them dry cleaned.
Yeah, dry clean them, hang them for the night, go in, crush that interview, and get a job, live in a van. But for now, it works for our spare keys, which is amazing too, because I can never find the keys, and
that's your hook.
Like they're there. Floor in a ProMaster sits lower than it does in a Mercedes or a Ford because it's front wheel drive.
Okay.
It makes it really low so your feet dangle like a little kid. So we actually use our leveling blocks. It becomes a nice little footrest. So.
Perfect.
All right, so let's talk about our electrical and all the jazz stuff in here. So we have 3 100-watt solar panels on top, going to 1 200 amp hour 12 volt AGM battery. We have an electric Carefree Colorado awning that comes out. We have a S-bar heater under the passenger seat here. The bed lift, just the 3 LED lights on the ceiling, and a Renogy MPPT charge controller setup. And that's about it for the electrical.
Nice. It doesn't seem like you guys have too much running or riding on your electrical system, which is pretty good, I think.
I want to be able to sit on the beach in Mexico and not start the car to charge the battery and be good. And yeah, as long as there's sun, we're golden forever. We finally found the limitations of the 200 amp hour AGM battery when we were actually recently in North Cascade National Park we're parked in the trees and they're huge there and there's no sun at all. So after like 2 days, we're down to pretty much no battery. So on the next build, we are gonna double our battery bank. But it's been great for us and it's been over 2 years full time, so it works well.
You keep saying next build. Does that mean that this may be up for sale?
So we were talking about it. We don't know yet. We're going back and forth every day currently, but everything's got a price too. So if you definitely want it, message us if you're interested and we'll talk about it. We're planning on doing a trip from Baja to Alaska starting at the beginning of March. So ideally we get the next one built before March and this one gets sold by then. And then we can just cruise the new one the whole trip.
Time will tell. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Announcement coming.
It seems like you guys have to follow their journey so you can see what's gonna happen in the future with them. What inspired van life for you guys?
Yeah, so when we were working, we both worked at Otterbox together. He was in sales and I was doing program management. We were there for about 7 years. Great company, awesome jobs. We got 5 weeks of vacation a year, great benefits, but we still felt like we needed more time to pursue our own passions and travel more and do more things. You know, it was still like weekend warrioring and that wasn't enough. When you don't have those things that you need to pay for, then suddenly you don't need to work as much. So van life became a really tangible option for us to meet the financial goals that we had and the goals that we had for our own personal freedoms to travel more.
Once you sell the house, you got nowhere else to go. So we've been in the van ever since.
Alright guys, we really hope that you enjoyed this van tour. Thank Drifter Journey for letting us check out their van and tour it. Follow on YouTube, on Instagram, awesome people. We can't wait to be able to get an opportunity to spend some actual time with you guys on the road.
Sure.
Hopefully that's in our futures. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, guys. Thanks for watching.
Alright, we'll see you next time.